Last class we had talked about the states of matter. I had given you the elementary introduction about the types of states. 5 are there, but as per our syllabus you have to study about 3 only. I had told you about the matter, and I had told there are 2 criteria which we had developed, or in fact 2 conclusions that we had developed after those 3 investigations. Those were: if an object has got mass, it will have weight. If the object has got weight, it will have mass also. Second was that all the objects will occupy some volume. If these 2 criteria are represent, we can say that that object is a matter. And if it is a matter, it will have 3 states. It can exist in the 3 states, and every object is made up of some smaller units called as atoms. And these atoms, when combined together, form molecules. And molecules on a large repetitions will form the matter that we can touch and see. Okay, so this chapter name is matter. This is session 1, that is the first chapter, and in that first chapter we are going to have the 7th lecture of this topic. 7th lecture, and we study states of matter. States of matter. So see, there are 3 states, you already know: solids, liquids and gases. If you talk about the solids first, I had told you yesterday only that in the solids are characterized by the definite shape. That means they are going to have a fixed shape. That fixed shape can be attributed to the high value of intermolecular forces of attraction between the molecules. And because why this high intermolecular forces are there? So these are because of the less intermolecular spaces. The intermolecular spaces are very less or almost negligible in the solids. Well, the reason is, and because of this high intermolecular forces only, the molecules of solid do not move. Okay, they are fixed. What maximum they can do is they can vibrate about their mean positions. Okay, so later, because of this vibrations around the mean positions, you will learn how heating of one end of a solid rod heats the other also. Okay, that means the conduction, convection, radiation, all this to study. As of now, we need not study this. We will study about solids. What are the examples? Examples of solids are a box, a chair. What else? Stones, bus, books, bus. If we observe the things around us, like this duster, solid state, it retains its shape. Now, examples we have done. Now let us talk about the characteristics. Characteristics of solid. Already you know, you studied about this, but first is definite shape. Definite shape. If you look around your house only, inside your house, you may find many things whose shape is fixed, whose shape doesn't change. And at the same time, if you look around things, there will be shapes, there will be things, or there will be matter which, if you pour somewhere, means basically I talk about liquids, which you pour in some vessel, they will take the shape of the container. So definite shape is what? Their shape is fixed and it doesn't change. So if you see the cups, saucers, spoons, tables and chairs, they do not change their shape. That means they do not change shape. Now don't say, sir, we have taken a wax, you can say a spherical shape of wax, and if you melt it, then its shape changes. Obviously, its shape will change because its state also has changed. Okay, as long it was a solid, it has a fixed shape. Okay. Second is, it has definite volume. B is definite volume. Now you see, any solid shape is there, it will have a definite volume. Like what? It is given in the book. What is that given? Think of a wooden stool, ask your friend to sit on it. After he sits, does the volume of stool change? Now suppose you are having a wooden block, let us take a brick only. A brick is there. Brick. This brick is there and you apply some force on this brick. Don't throw it somewhere, but if you apply force, try to press it, shape won't change because it is solid, and since shape is fixed, volume also will not change. That means even by the application of force, it is not changing its shape, and volume also is fixed. This is true for solids. Shape is fixed and volume also is fixed for solids. Next thing is, it may get heaved. And that is heading only. A we had done about definite shape. B was definite volume. C is, it may get heaved. Heat means you pile it up. Heaped, H-E-A-P-E-D. So it may get heaved. Like, take a bowl of common salt, empty it on a plate. What do you observe? Common salt doesn't flow. That means it may pile up if you take in a plate common salt. Okay, common salt take and put it there in the plate. So you take a bowl of it and empty it in a plate. Firstly, it was there in a bowl. When you empty it, it spreads. So it may get heaved up. That means it does not flow. This does not flow property you will see in the liquids and gases. Liquids do flow, gases also flow, but solids do not. So you will find some structure like this, made up of like this. So heap means pile one thing or the other. It will form a triangular shape like like you can say mountain-like structure, small mountains. So it is formed like this. Clear? So these three characteristics were there, and now they are concluding the characteristics. So first one was what? First is solids have definite shape. Solids have definite shape. Second is what? Second is solids have definite volume. Then what is the third one? Third is solids do not flow, they get heat. Solids do not flow, they get heat. And fourth is what? The fourth one is solids do not need a container to hold them. Now see, this you can attribute to just like related to this only. Here, since they are having a definite shape, definite volume, you need not have a container. So these three properties are the more important properties, and based on this only we can define what a solid is. Because in the exam the question may be asked that define solids. So definition. Do not write the definition right now, as when the question comes that time you write. A material that has a definite shape. A material that has a definite shape material that has a definite shape and definite volume and definite volume such that it can have any number of free surfaces, such that it can have any number of free surfaces is called solid. Excuse me, is called solid. When you write this definition for some question, like if you look in the exercises portion, define liquid, define what is gas. Okay, define matter, and then the three states of matter. So whenever the definition comes, you will underline first definite shape, then definite volume will underline, and also you can write any number of free surfaces. Now what this term is free surfaces, children? If you study what is free surfaces, if you have a cube like this, looks like a cuboid right now. Or if we have a pyramid-like structure like this, any number of free surfaces might be there. You take any shape, just like this. Okay. So this is basically triangular pyramid. One or the other triangles are kept here. One triangle, so triangular, it is pyramid. So these all shapes are such that they will have n number of free surfaces. What is free surface? This is the free surface. This is also free surface. This is also free surface. So many. Now this free surface you understand better. We'll talk about liquid. But I'll give you a brief introduction. Suppose you have kept water in a bucket. How many free surfaces there? Only this is the free liquid surface. Only one free liquid surface. So liquid will have only one free surface, but the solids you see any number of free surfaces. That is the way to distinguish. I will read from the liquid so that you understand better. See, liquids have only one free surface, but solids can have any number of free surfaces. On that note, we'll study about liquids in the next class. Maybe some investigations also will study.